Hey, I'm Ale.
And I'm Andre.
We're both facilitators.
And we do things a bit differently.
These are our memoirs.
And we want you to be a part of them.
We hope you enjoy this episode.
This is Facilitators Memoirs, where we break the rules and make the magic happen. The art of guiding chaos into clarity, turning dead-end discussions into breakthroughs, and making collaboration actually work. Sounds interesting? Then come join us. Let's get disruptive.
Hello, hello.
Hello and welcome.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Andre.
How are you today, Ale?
Doing quite well.
Yeah? Are you full after that delicious meal we had?
Oh, we're so full right now.
But it's a good full, huh? Because we made good on our promise.
Yes.
First off, we made good on our promise that we would not go to an Asian food place this time around. Which was tough because it's always very tempting and there's a lot of options here where we live in Berlin. But we managed to end up at a Moroccan restaurant.
Which is a different vibe, a different synchronization, like vibration also in the place.
Yeah.
Everything is moving differently
here.
here.
Yeah, for sure. And the food is a little bit lighter, so we're full.
We're full.
But it's a good full.
Exactly.
It's an energetic full, I would say.
It is.
Right?
Energetic. That kind of gives you also like the vibe of the place. It's a very energetic place also where we are right now.
I hope that comes across. We're feeling quite energized right now.
Yes.
There's definitely a vibrant atmosphere here at the restaurant.
Yes.
There's a lot of people, there's a lot of talking, there's background music, there's a lot of people moving back and forth and enjoying their time here. And
exactly.
It seems that energy has kind of rubbed off on us, right?
Yes, it's totally into it with the energy that we bring it. It's absolutely like
right.
that.
I think we've gotten acclimated.
Yeah.
To the temperature here in the room.
And the conversation that's happening also in the backgrounds and the music.
We figured that we would use this moment and record a quick episode.
Yes.
To share that energy with you, dear listeners.
Yes, amazing. And energy. What do you mean by energy?
So look, let me paint the picture. At this Moroccan restaurant, there's people around us.
There is.
They're talking, they're laughing, they're enjoying themselves. There's music, there's delicious food, there's tea, there's spices, aromas going through the air. And all of this has some kind of an energy. It has some kind of a pace, a frequency, a vibration.
All our senses are somehow
It's
activated.
somehow affecting us.
Yes.
Like we're just sitting here in this room.
Yeah.
And this is going on around us.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're doing this. We're not the ones here giggling and laughing. Well, we are, but it didn't start off that way.
But it brings the energy back to you, and it makes you think and do things in a different way than
Right.
if you would be in a very pleasant, like very relaxed, maybe atmosphere, right?
We came in kind of relaxed, and we had a lot on our plate, and we shared what we had been going through and what's on our mind. And now all of a sudden we're kind of bouncing and soaking up this good energy, this positive vibration here at the restaurant. And we thought, rather we started talking before we hit the record button about, does this play a role in facilitation for us? Like, do we have energy in the room when we're working with people? Does it matter? Is it something we use to our advantage? Is it something we're aware of? What role does energy play in facilitation processes for us?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What comes to mind when I ask you that question?
I mean, the first thing that crosses my mind is that there is also a lot of energy. Like, matter also changes constantly through energy, right? Like, if you have a glass of water and you give it energy, it's gonna get warm, and when it gets warm, it gets hot. That means like all the particles are moving and engaging super, super quick, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens also in a facilitation process. When we are with a group, everyone is actively there, engaging, there's participation, people want to raise their hand, they want to talk to you, and you as a facilitator, you feel the vibe, the energy of the room. It's like, okay, things are going very well because everyone wants to be there.
Yeah.
Whereas, if we go with the same example, if we have a glass of water and we decrease the energy, right, it's going to be cold, it's going to be disengaged, it's going to be staying very passive, ideas are not going to be flowing so much.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing that happened also with facilitation in a way, right? So that's kind of the connection that we were kind of thinking a little bit. Right, Andre?
I would say so. And I would say so also that, there's different types of energy.
Yep.
Right? In terms of working with people in a facilitation process, there's good energy, there's bad energy, there's very kind of fast energy, there's slow energy, and there's everything in between as well. And there's the element of the energy that's going on within us,
Yeah.
the energy that we feel, and then also the energy that our participants feel. And at least this is my perception, I feel like there's a shared energy.
Yes, the one that
So
you bring
there's
in as
the individual element of the facilitator and what energy level they're on,
Yeah.
the level that the participants are on, and then also that interaction between the two
Exactly.
has its almost own energy.
My energy, your energy, our energy that we're creating also
Right.
by being in the space.
And I think now we've hit a record already of saying the word energy
Yes.
as much as possible in 5 minutes. So hopefully we have some kind of certificate, Guinness Book of World Records.
Energy.
I don't know. I'm sure if you just said the word energy for 5 minutes straight, you would say it more. But
it would be a very energetic certification.
right, maybe said the most times in a natural flowing 5-minute conversation. But just to help the listeners kind of understand a little bit more what we mean, maybe we can use an example. Do you have an
Yes.
example in mind?
I was thinking something that happens also with energy. That is very, very much something that you learn when you are starting in the process. My example goes a little bit to my first years as facilitator, Andre. Like pretty much the first years that already I had a lot of knowledge on how to facilitate, but I learned a very, very valuable lesson that had to do with what you were saying. When we come to a place and the energy is already flowing in a direction and you don't know how to manage it correctly, or you don't know also like how to engage with it, the example is pretty much the following. I was doing a train the trainer at that point, so I was already sharing the knowledge.
1 second. Train the trainer.
Yes.
Maybe not everyone knows what that means.
Good, that's a good point.
Basically, you're the facilitator
Yes.
for a process where the participants are also facilitators.
Exactly. So that means that already the facilitators have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that they want to learn, and they want to learn it as quick as possible, right? Because they want to take advantage of all the knowledge that Alejandro or the facilitator is bringing to the table.
And I would just assume that facilitators, being busy, active people,
Yes, as they
for the
are.
most part,
As we
that
all
they're
are.
bringing a specific energy already into that space.
Exactly, that's the point. Because they already brought a lot of energy into the room. I was already prepared with everything that I wanted to share with them, and I wanted to do it like in a very well organized way, pretty much like we were talking in previous episodes of being prepared for the session. And what happened was that at some point, at the very beginning of the session, somebody raised their hands, I let the person ask the question, and then from there on, it became chaos. Everybody wanted to ask questions.
Right.
And from my point of view, it was like, okay, this is great because there's a lot of engagement. I will just go with the flow. I will just answer every question as they keep coming, and I will just basically answer the questions as they all come.
Yeah.
What ended up happening was, yes, the session was like we were talking about that hot water. It was boiling at every moment, every single moment in every direction. But when I finished the session, I noticed that I was very, very, very tired.
Ah, okay.
Like, I felt like the conversation, the engagement that we had has drained my energy. That's the point.
Yeah.
It has drained my energy in such a way that I felt that it was going to take me a lot of time also to recuperate from that. And that's what happened.
Yeah,
I ended
yeah.
up 1 week at home trying to recuperate the energy after
Crazy,
that.
from one workshop.
From
That's
just
wild.
one
Yeah.
workshop.
Yeah.
So what did I learn with this? And basically what I want to share also with our listeners today. You have to make sure that you are bringing the energy, but that you also know how to manage the energy that is already in the room.
Right.
And that you manage the conversation also with everyone in such a way that you protect your boundaries, your energy, but then you also bring the best version of yourself to the session that you're trying to have. So it was a cautionary tale for me, but a very positive one that I now use so that I can measure the energy levels that I'm bringing to the room. But how about for you, Andrew?
No, that's interesting. Just to tap onto that, I think that example gives a good illustration of how energy plays a role, and you have the energy of the participants coming in. In this case, the particular target group of the facilitators, who already are burning with questions and have this inquisitive kind of energy of like they're coming at you with specific expectations, and you feel that. I think. I mean, if I put myself in your shoes, I've been in that position before too, and you really feel that these people are expecting something from you, and that there's an energy that is demanded of you. Like you're supposed to give them something for what they're bringing.
Yeah.
And I can really imagine that, over the hours of the workshop kind of adding up, and at the end, you having given more than you've received in energy, because that's the kind of energy that is very one-directional, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
They're coming and they're expecting something from you. right?
And then
So
you
it's
give all
very
your heart
one-directional.
into it,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden 2 hours have passed and you didn't feel it.
And I think that's something that a lot of facilitators will resonate with, is we get very caught up in the moment
Yes.
as well, and we're in the workshop and we're trying to do our best.
Yeah.
And then after it's done, we almost wake up out of a dream, and then we feel for the first time, oh, I'm hungry, oh, I'm thirsty,
I forgot
oh,
that I
I'm
had
a
to do
human
this.
being,
Yes,
and
exactly.
I have emotions, and energy does things with me. And I think that self-care element that comes into
Yes,
it,
the
that
boundaries.
individual level, setting boundaries, what can you do to prevent that drainage? What can you do to take care of yourself when you notice the drainage? Maybe that's something that we can touch on in another episode.
But to measure it, to use it in a way that is going to be useful for everyone, but at the same time that you're saving the energy for other things so that you can be at your 100% every time when you're doing this. Because at the end of the day, Andre, we are people of service.
Yeah.
We like to serve. We like to be there for others.
Yeah.
But we cannot show up for others if we're not showing up for ourselves, right? If we're not taking care of our mental or proper health, right? Altogether.
So the example I want to give is on a little bit of a different level. So I work with kids and youth every day of the week. So if I have a draining day, which, I mean, you can imagine there's going to be draining days
That has
working
never
with kids
happened.
and youth
Never
already.
happened.
You're right. You can deny it as much as you want, but it will catch up to you.
Yeah.
And so it's something where I have that exact experience you have as well, where you have a draining day
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and then the next day it makes everything more difficult.
Of course. Yeah.
And as the listeners maybe know by now, one of my specialties is teaching math, or rather creating environments where young people can gain access to math and learn about its beauty and what it has to offer. And that requires of me a specific energy that I need to bring.
You have to be in love with the
every single
topic.
session.
You really have to be in love with the topic, otherwise they know this, right?
Right. I mean, the thing is, you don't have to be. You don't have to be in love. Not every teacher is in love with what they teach.
Very good point, yes.
But every teacher who is in love with what they teach will surely notice that has a positive impact on the process.
Students are going to notice, yeah?
I mean, it's no surprise that mathematics is something that not everybody loves, not everybody gravitates to naturally.
Exactly.
Right? And that can really go in very opposite directions. So that can really go into the direction of math makes me scared, math makes me uncomfortable, math makes me angry, math makes me frustrated. It's a very emotional setting when you're doing math. It's something that's totally underappreciated, is how emotional math is.
Yes.
And how much of emotion management your job is as a math teacher.
Yeah.
You have to really have a good radar and feel for the emotions that your participants, your in this case kids and youth, are feeling.
Because you have to acknowledge
when they're
those
doing
feelings, exactly. If you don't acknowledge the feelings that they're having from the point of view of how fearful they are, how stressed they feel, how sad they are that things are not working for them at some point, if you cannot go from there, you can actually not help them altogether, even if you teach them. Right?
Yeah, well, you're not reaching them.
Exactly.
That's the thing, is because they're blinded by that anger, that frustration, those negative emotions.
Yeah.
And they're also kind of tied to them. They're caught by it almost. Like in their brain, math is associated with these emotions. So as soon as they're in a math-related context,
they go into that.
Automatically, the brain switches into that mode. So in a sense, they're helpless to it. Yeah. So what I learned very early on is it's my job to create positive experiences in a math setting.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the math we're doing is fun. The environment needs to be fun. It needs to be positive. And then that will be connected with mathematics automatically in the brain and with the emotional element. So how do I do it?
Yeah.
I do it with my natural love of math.
Yeah.
And people are probably shaking their head and thinking,
What kind of love?
What is this blasphemy, math and love, and how can you, and so on. And
listeners, you can send calculators to Andre. He loves them. He's in love with all the calculators.
Any calculators lying around, any math books you have, send them my way.
But what do you mean then with that love, Andre?
So passion, right?
Yes.
So I think it's no surprise that I have a passion for math and science and nature, and learning more about how things work, learning more about how I can use these tools to get a better understanding of the world around me. That fascinates me. That drives me with passion. And I noticed very early on, I'm a good teacher when the subjects that I'm teaching are aligned with my passions.
Exactly.
So it's no surprise I ended up as a math and a science teacher, because that's naturally what I enjoy talking about, doing, and I love getting other people excited about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my main goal when I'm teaching math, when I'm working with kids and youth, is to share my passion and to have them have experiences of passion, of joy when dealing with math. And how do I do that? I bring a specific energy to the room every time I do it.
As a
and
facilitator.
it's not something that I overly prepare for, but it's a mindset that I shift into as soon as I start the lesson.
No.
So oftentimes I'll find myself having different thoughts as one has, right? Oh, I have to go shopping later on, and oh, I can't forget to do this and this. But as soon as I make that click, it's I'm here now, it's math, and it's my job to be passionate.
Truth.
So I tap into my own passions, and I start talking about what I need to talk about, and then my frequency picks up, my heart starts pumping, the blood starts flowing, I start speaking maybe a little bit more...
And then your water starts getting very boiled.
With a little bit more tone.
Yeah.
And then I notice that I'm having some kind of a external effect through this.
Yeah.
And I get this feedback from kids and youth all the time. They're like, you really love what you do. You really love math.
And you can tell.
And they can tell.
Yeah.
And I think, good, I'm doing my job right if they can tell.
Yeah.
And it works. It really works. If you're passionate and you show it and you give opportunities for the kids and youth to access it, meaning I tell them why I love it.
Yeah.
I tell them something and I have a big smile on my face and I'm pulsating and I'm vibrating and there's frequencies flowing from my body that are communicating, this is cool.
So your body is communicating, the voice is communicating, everything.
Right. And that's also, I'm mentioning that because those are my tools.
Yeah.
How do I create this energy? I use my voice.
Yeah.
I use my body posture.
Right, exactly.
I use my gestures. I use the chalk and the chalkboard, or the pen and the marker and the whiteboard. I make drawings, sketches. I write stuff down. I tell stories. I try to make it interactive, and I try to tap into my emotions.
So using all the tools that you have at your disposal, your body, your voice, the way that you're basically interacting with everyone. Yeah. It sounds to me from what you're telling us, Andrew, that there's a lot of programming your brain and programming others also into the right setting, right? Yeah. Like if they're coming also with their own stress, with their own problems from home and everything, it's like that moment where we're trying to put them like, okay, I know that you're going into many things, but it's here and it's now. Yeah. And now it's basically the moment that we finish with all that and we're starting something totally new and putting everyone a little bit into that mood, right? Yeah, yeah. And that is super important, right? Because it's happening in the two directions. We're doing it for our participants, but our participants also give us that energy in a way. So the two examples that we were discussing today basically go in that direction, right? Yeah. Mine go a little bit from the point of view of the participants, what energy they bring, but in yours is also like that character or that persona that you create so that you can be that 100% Andre in love with that person that you want to be, right?
Yeah, right. And that's the energy that I bring. That's something that I have a little bit more control over.
Exactly.
But what I don't have so much control over is something that you brought up in your example, is the energy the participants are bringing in.
Exactly.
And it's our job as facilitators to manage. First of all, to kind of diagnose and understand what energies are there, and then to manage them. And to, in the best case, use them or manipulate them, even though manipulate sounds with like a negative connotation.
But reprogram at least the situation.
Yeah, but we're kind of shifting it. And imagine you're in a bad mood and somebody manipulates you and shifts you into a good mood, right? In a way, you feel like, okay, this isn't exactly my doing. At the same time, you may feel happy about all of a sudden being in a good mood. Like there's pros and cons to this word manipulate in that sense. But we're basically having an impact. Like I had the impact of my passion being transferred, not transferred to the kids, but made approachable.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that what you're mentioning is something really important of the factor of the emotions and the energy that the participants bring.
Exactly.
And managing them, and then also what that does with us, right? Like that's in counteraction to the energy I'm trying to create.
Exactly. Yep.
So I need to kind of work with all of it, my own emotions, my own energy, but also the ones coming from the participants, and create something collective where we're all kind of in the same energetic space.
The moment that I'm listening to you right now, Andre, is quite engaging, because you're also activating a little bit like the mathematician, the physician in me.
I'm passionate right now.
You're totally passionate. You're reminding me a little bit of Albert Einstein saying, like, this idea of energy is never going to go.
Yeah.
It's like it's going to transform. So you use what the energy that is already there in the room, and you use it, you manipulate it, you build it, you talk on top of that, so that it can transform into something more beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not you, it's not me, it's us right now, right? It's a new transformation.
That's foundational science, the conservation of energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, it's only transferred and transformed.
Yeah.
And I think that's a nice way of putting it, because we're transforming the energy in a room as facilitators. And
we don't disappear it. We don't negate it. We don't acknowledge it.
We can't destroy it. We can't say, oh, you have a bad mood, let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
At the same time as having the good energy, and here, latch onto it. Take this good energy and also feel the good energy. No, but we can work with it, and we can mold it, and we can use it to our benefit. But I think what we're trying to make clear is that's a very big part of our job.
Yes, and it's an organic process that is built only in the moment, that you practice for many years until you figure out also something that works specifically for you as a facilitator, right?
Yeah. And I think that something that is often underlooked but extremely important, and I think something also maybe the community who's listening to us would value us spending some time talking about is that self-care element as a facilitator. How do I take care of myself? How do I manage the emotions and the energy? Because it does something with you. We're human beings, and there's physiological effects and mental effects, and there's strain, and we need to manage it. But I think we need to talk about that on another day.
Totally important to also go into that, because we're transforming the energy. We are not absorbing the energy, but it can also not go together with us also after the session. So as much as we have a moment at the beginning where we're managing the emotions, if emotions become very, very polarizing or very stressful at the end of the session, we also have to make sure that those energies stay in that room and they don't catch up with us afterwards.
Which is very easily said, but quite hard to do.
It is indeed.
And a learning process, and maybe we have some tips and tricks or questions that also we deal with on a regular basis. But as I mentioned, another day, perhaps. Another day, another time, another state of mind.
Maybe with less energy, with a different energy, with
a different vibe. A different vibe. For today, I really enjoyed the vibe. I got, quite passionate, which is a representation of our environment today.
I hope everyone is latching on into their math books right now after the conversation with Andre, and how physics, math, and energy all together can be so meaningful for our lives. But let's use energy in a different way in facilitation. Let's make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, but also that we're bringing our participants into the here and now that we are for the session.
Right. Speaking about the here and now, we hope that with this podcast that you've just listened to here and now, you've got a good vibe, a good energy that hopefully we were able to transfer over a little bit through all of these digital tools that we have these days. And also maybe in the here and now you would care to like and subscribe our channels.
By all means, please.
Maybe tell a friend.
Tell 2 friends or 3 friends or 4 friends. All the friends that you have in the restaurant right now.
Tell a friend, and then tell that friend to tell a friend, and we'll see where it goes from there.
There you go.
But interact with us. Let us know maybe also what you would like us to talk about, certain topics that you maybe are interested in and want us to dive into.
Discuss.
Let us know. Interact with us, please make sure to tune in the next time when we come.
We will come with another energy, another topic, but always the very same nice conversations between the two of us.
Right. And let's try to keep the momentum of, at least for the next time, no Asian food again.
No Asian food again, because we started a new streak. So
Africa is big. We just tapped the top of the continent. Maybe there's more to discover there, but there's also lots of delicious food. And I'm surprised also because we also don't know in advance what delicious food we'll be having that day.
But the place really helped us today for the energetic part. So
I think we made all the right decisions today.
By all means.
Have a great day, everybody. Take care and see you next time.
Big hugs to everyone. Thank you very much for listening to us. Bye.
Bye.